Some people aren't going to agree with what I stand for, or agree what I do on a daily basis, but God put me on this earth for a reason. And my reason, in my opinion, is to help the nation understand what it takes to be healthy.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Thom Underwood. Previously, episode 1461 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 2 months, 15 days, 15 hours, and 15 minutes. Wow, the 15 is in there, right? Since we last had this conversation. That was then, this is now. Thom, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I mean, the last time we spoke, wow, the podcast, the Rebel. Ooh.
The Rebel Health Coach podcast is still going, buddy.
That's great.
It's a little over 3 years, and it's going and growing.
Oh.
So that's all I can ask.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, it started and we had our conversation connected through PDC, the guys there. But what you've been doing, I mean, from 290 pounds, Thom, to like you moved from Thomas to Thom, right?
From Thomas to Tom, yep.
How have things evolved? What's new? Give us an update, please.
Well, I am doing very well. The podcast is rolling. I'm growing my business and helping people get healthy, buddy. It's a long journey, and people, there's so many fad diets out there, and not one diet is for anybody, any one person. So a lot of people get on that hamster wheel with dieting and gaining the weight back and dieting again and gaining it back. So my goal is to help as many people get healthy in my lifetime.
Now, how are people accessing you? Is it that you're doing this online, or is it something that they can visit? How does it work?
Well, a few of them come from the podcast. A few come from the website. I am now in the process of starting something very scary for me, and that's doing Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives to get in front of some people. And I haven't done one yet, and I got it on my list for next week to do one.
Well, go for it. I mean, that sounds like fun, but in terms of getting to people out there in the community, how are you doing that, though? Or is that something that you really don't want to leave the house? You want to get on the live?
No, I go to the gym. I have a lot of friends in the gym business. And another thing that I'm starting this year is some speeches to different people, and I'm offering them out to churches and groups to do my optimal health is not complicated speech, which is about maximizing, minimizing, prioritizing your life, and digging into how to live maximally.
Tell us a bit more about that, though.
Well, I mean, there's 3 steps mainly to optimal health, and you have to maximize the good stuff, oxygen, water, minerals, time with yourself, your head stuff. You have to minimize the bad stuff. You have to minimize the toxins, the infections, stress, trauma. Limiting beliefs is a big one, and fear is a big one that drives that. And stress is a huge one in our today's society, because most of us wake up every morning in that sympathetic mode and are chasing our day. And we need to learn how to go back to that parasympathetic mode of rest and digest, because that stress mode is killing more people today than anything. It's the leading driver for doctor's appointments is stress.
One of the things that you said on the podcast when we talked is that, hey, it's one thing to take your health seriously, but at the same time, it's so necessary to have the relaxation point. The Rebel Health Coach came about because these ladies gave you the name because you were smoking cigars and drinking bourbon, right?
Right.
But even in that, have you seen that those people that are focusing on health, that they are stressed as well, even though they're focusing on their health?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people go to the gyms, and a lot of people, honestly, they go to the gym too much. They overstress their bodies, and that's bad, because then your body's you're tearing it up a little bit too much. So you need to realize a really common safe ground between exercising and over exercising. And, like I said, we need to get out of that fight or flight mode. Like that, like a sympathetic mode is like when when a dog's backed into a corner, he's going to come out and lurch at you, and that's what happens with humans. When they get backed into a corner and our stress is so high, our body's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep giving you the cortisol you need to calm you down or anything else to calm you down because you're not doing it for yourself. So you need to get out in nature. You need to get grounded. You need some meditation techniques, whatever they may be. You need to spend some time with mine is God. Spend some time with God and talk to him and put it in his hands. If it's not God, then whoever it is for you, find that time and place.
Even in that scenario where you're backed against the wall, even in your scenario where you are 290 pounds, there's a voice that speaks to you. And of course, you can choose to listen or not listen. Is that voice clear to you? And how do you discern when it's the right time to listen to which voice or not listen?
Oh, absolutely. That voice is always there, buddy. Always there. And, I think what happens for me personally is I get to a point where I had enough and I have to go do something to relieve myself. Usually it's meditation or grounding or walking in the woods or just a light run through outdoors and outdoor nature. I also purchased something since we talked last. It's called the Huzo. It stands for human sound. And it basically, you put headphones on and you put these pads on your acupuncture meridians, your wrist and your ankles, and you select a sound there's a choice of 10 right now, but that's growing. And you select this sound, like I usually use ground and the ground mod thing. And what it is a series of tones with monks chanting and didgeridoo players and all these sounds that send this frequency through your body all the time. The pads are vibrating. This machine I spend 30 minutes usually twice a day for this machine on using this. And it really takes me out of that fight or flight mode and puts me back into that rest and digest mode.
So much of life is contained into the conversation of, hey, it's possible that you can die today or tomorrow. Is that something that's in the forefront of your mind, or do you put that in the back shelf of your mind when you're planning for your day?
I put that in the back shelf. I mean, I plan my day the night before. And as you know, podcasting is a lot of work in itself. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy getting different guests out to the people in solo episodes. I enjoy doing also. I need to do more of those, but I enjoy getting that information out to the people. So the time invested in the podcast is difficult and stressful at times to stay on a schedule, but it's necessary for me to get my information out or what I want to share with the world for the health and wellness of our country.
Do you remember that earliest childhood memory when you would get home and do a swim on the lake, right? And the relaxation that came from that. Isn't it fascinating that you're still that guy, though? Even though you got to the extreme weight and now a back dog, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I just visited that lake in December. My mother passed December 28th. And when I was back there, I went back to visit our old house and the lake I lived on. And those memories came back to mind as the times I spent on that lake. And it was amazing.
You're a genuine person with a mission. That's what you left us with when we last spoke. How's that going, being a genuine person with a mission?
You know what? I am who I am, and God created me that way. And I don't get along with everybody, but I love everybody. So that's what I do with my life. And, some people aren't going to agree with my stances on things or agree with what I stand for or agree what I do on a daily basis. But God put me on this earth for a reason, and my reason, in my opinion, is to help the nation understand what it takes to be healthy.
Well, my friend, I can tell you it's such a grand opportunity to call in and to hear that you've not given up, that you've continued on your path, both motivational and inspirational. I do appreciate you taking the time to be here, investing the time in being here. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I just want to share that, you know what? If you're on that hamster wheel of not getting healthy and you just reach out to me or reach out to somebody, there's always somebody in this in industry that is able to help you. But my door is always open. I offer a 20-minute free consultation. And if I'm not a good fit, I can refer you to somebody else. But if I'm a good fit, or if you just want have some questions that you want to ask, please reach out to me.
Again, amazing audience, you heard it live from Thom Underwood. Thomas moved from Thomas to Thom. So funny. Thom, again, a great pleasure, one I treasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.